All right, what's up? How we doing? Good morning. Good morning. I'm sitting long on the close of 28. Risk is managed below 28. About 800 points away. Realistically, like 20-something. Volatility is in the hole. We are at 22 on the ATR. And we'll see how this trade plays out, man. All right. How we doing so far? Volatility's low. Doesn't mean we can't get some work done here. By the way, heads up, I have a starting P&L of 7,400 from the overnight session. So we'll see if I can kind of tack onto that. So yesterday I did, what, 991, I think? And I'm starting today, 74. So let's see what we can put together, man. We've got work to do. Yeah, it's been a little while since we've had a day that's this low volatility this early. I think, man, right? I don't think we've seen a 22 ATR around this time in... I could be wrong. I feel like it's been a month or two, right? Either way... So I'm going to look to get at least a full ATR here out of this trade. ATR currently sitting 22, maybe 23 by the time we get up there. The ATR now sitting 23. My biggest concern right now is that we just go sideways. And when I say concern, I don't mean like, ooh, I'm so worried. I don't want to do that because it'll be boring. But you know what? Sometimes boring's okay. Just not all the time, please. Bulls! Pop this thing! Go! All right, there's a close of 31. Inside close. Yep, bulls hesitating a little bit here. We may see a sideways range. Let's hope not. So, it's been a little while since I've checked in with you guys. Meaning, I have not asked, has anybody since our last check-in hit a milestone in their prop trading or in their personal account trading? First time funded, first payout, payout milestone, etc. Drop it in the chat. Foresee, third payout of the career. Northwestern, first $500 payout. Nice work. Ed up 1,500 in a funded. We love it. All right, Bulls. ATR sitting 22. Sir, first payout from Apex, 793, nice. Nice. Now let's scale that thing, 5, 10, 20 accounts. Then when you're eligible for the payout, just book it. They add up quick. People always want max payout. And a lot of times you're going to get max payout. That's just the way the trading days will work out. But you know what? If you're eligible, that's your money. Book it. Makes the ROI look a lot better a lot sooner if you just book the payout and don't say, I gotta get that max payout. Why? You've been working for a payout. If you get payouts from 10, 15, 20 accounts, do you really care if you took 1475 or 2000 in that one account? Not really, because it adds up to a big number anyway. All right, Bulls. Trying to take this thing sideways. I want to see this thing up and to the right. Bullfrog says, I wish I would have done that when I was eligible for 880, but wanted max and blew it. Look, guys. I've screamed it from the rooftops. Now let me say it quietly from the chair. Scale your prop trading horizontally. Stop. Everyone's trying to get max payouts every minimum trading days with one account. Are you really that much of a fucking cheap ass that you're not willing to invest money with a positive ROI? This is a first grader could teach this to you. Say, wait, if I spend $10 and I get back more than $10, maybe even a lot more than $10, should I do it? They would say, of course you should do it, you dummy. You're an adult, how are you alive? Come on, man. Scale it horizontally. More accounts. When you're payout eligible, book it. I don't care what the number says, just book it. Get money in the bank. And it'll add up to a very big number anyway. It'll be okay. I'm not saying sacrifice your goals. I'm saying make that ROI positive. All right, bulls. 25.9. Kind of a problem. Garzan, I will drop it. They're asking what tool do I use. I'll drop it in the chat. There you go. That's the copy trader I use. I've tested a whole bunch of them. That one is by far the best one that I've used. I use it every day. ATR coming down a little bit. We're down to 21.5. Down huge from 23. Oh man. If that ATR starts dipping below 20, it's okay. That's not ideal. You know, I'd love to see that stay in the 20s. If we could get a bar or two or four that drags that back up into the low 30s, that'd be tremendous. Yeah, you know, I see you guys talking about weather. Sitting in the green on that, man, if we could just get a little pop. You know, it's like I'm always sitting in the green on these trades. You know, I forget. I've been streaming for what, a year and a month, maybe 13 months? Have I ever lost a trade on stream? I don't think I've ever lost a trade on stream, man. You guys talking about weather. My wife and I were actually just having this conversation. I think there's something genetic as far as how you react to certain weather, because the stereotype, right, is that everybody loves summer and hot weather and beating sun. Look, there's a time and a place. I also love it. But at the same time, too much of that, it makes me feel sick. You know, like when you're sitting in a car and the sun's beating on you, it feels awful. Terrible. I like a nice, moderately warm, humid, like incoming storm kind of day. On top of that, a nice crisp fall day. Oh man. Oh, it's over. You know, the beauty of snow when you're a trader is I fucking love snow because I don't have to go anywhere. But I get it. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, this is where everyone starts saying, book it up. Take the $1,300. Nope. No, sir. Full ATR or nothing. At least on this trade. All right, here we go. ATR sitting 20, maybe 21. Well, go on, Bulls! Full ATR out there. Whole bunch of ghost positions here on the copy. Let that flatten. Forward Indicators does a great job at flattening those, by the way. All right. One trade in. I was up, what did I say? I was up 74, I think, to start. So I made 2,500 on that, so I'm sitting up 99.39. Whoops, one. All right, so let's see what else we can grab here. No, I'm convinced that we're probably going to see some of this garbage. ATR sitting 21. Well, let's see what we get. Okay, now 35 is going to close up here. We've got, I'm sorry, 34 is going to close up. 35 is going to open up. So we're 5 minutes out. That's going to be the first bar closing outside of this newly developed 20, 25 minute long trading range, sideways trading range, maybe 20 minutes. So now I'm watching 35 to see if we can get a kind of a repeat of 34, in which case I'll get long again. But right now, the probability is a little too high to get long on 34 for me. Nico, when did you make the 74? Last night. Overnight session. But I prefer to just keep to what we do here on stream. Just because I'm doing it in front of you. So we'll call it 24 for now. Nico, what time do you trade overnight session? I don't trade every overnight session, but what I do is when I'm sitting here working, doing stuff for the tomb, answering questions, making videos, I'm obviously watching the chart, right? So when it looks decent and the ATR is all right, then I'll put a trade or two on and manage it out of the corner of my eye. I'm not sitting here like I am here. Okay, it's a slightly more hands-off approach, but with RAM you can do either or. You don't have to be sitting here like this. I could actually put a trade on with RAM, walk away and go to lunch. I just wouldn't be able to manage bar by bar, but that's okay. It's just slightly more optimal to do so if I'm sitting here anyway, right? All right, so 35 here, closing up 3 minutes. But I definitely don't. I'll probably trade overnight like a couple nights a week on average. A couple evenings a week on average, we'll call it. But I don't like spending too much time. Honestly, one of my least favorite things to do is put on an overnight session trade at like 6 o'clock, say. And then it's midnight and it has, volatility dies and it hasn't resolved. I hate when that happens. Because I want to close up shop and go. You know, but then I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I gotta do the right thing, you know, I can't just close it up. But so when that happens, I just manage the best I can, head out of here. All right, minute 50 out. Beautiful little push here out of the bulls. All right. Minute 5 out. Hafi says, please explain your strategy for trading. So I trade a price action based methodology that I developed. I don't want to, I mean, I did build it, obviously. You know, I built RAM for myself, but it's a price action strategy. You know, I'm not the guy that's going to sit here that says, I've been in the big meetings, I saw behind the curtain. I mean, come on, guys, really? It's a price action strategy that I built out into a methodology for myself. It wasn't built for you, man. And you know what? It fucking works, and it keeps me paid and level-headed, so we love it. All right, 15 seconds out. I'm gonna go ahead and get a stop limit buy ready. Place him for the rollover, take it! Take it! Fucking right, take it. There you go. Stop will go at 99.75. There we go. All right, let's see what the bulls got. If anything, man, let's see if they can keep that rolling. This market is a steamroller. ATR, nice and high, 18. It's pretty low on the volatility. All right, I'm going to shoot for a full ATR again here on this trade. ATR sitting 19, maybe 20. We'll see. Can always adjust downside as well. Thanks. Can you please explain if you can, or make an explainer video? I have a ton of content. There's a massive, over 50 plus hours of content in the tomb. But if you don't want to go to the tomb, then I have the Wrench Action Method YouTube channel. That is fresh and launching, which is going to be a ridiculous amount of value for free. There's tons of information on it. Just go watch the stuff. I think you'll learn a lot. Or stick around here, man. We're doing it every day here live. What else can you ask for, right? All right, ATR is now sitting at 20 here. Go on now, bulls. Okay, there's the rollover into bar 37. Let's see if it takes out the wick high here at 36. Got to do so in the next 5 seconds. Nope, so I'll leave my stop as is. Let this thing breathe a little bit. ATR now down in the 18s. Oh, 19 on the ATR. We're just trying to pull it back here a tad. Yeah, ATR sitting between 19 and 20. We'll see how it ends up if we get another test upside here. Spar says opening a short position. All right, man, we'll see. I am sitting long. But I respect if you go against me. Or some people will say, ha, that's idiotic. Probability is never better than 70%. So how can you sit and call 30% idiotic? That simply does not match the definition of the word. Volatility real low here. It's all right. See if the bulls can step back in here. So far, they had me what? 13, maybe 14 points in the money. Not quite enough. All right, there's the close at 37 into the open bar 38. Let's see if 38 can get this done. Again, when you start getting this, the risk for a sideways channel, sideways trading range starts to present itself. But it's all right. All right, my risk is managed right below the wick low bar 35. All right, 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. 35 All right, bulls. Step on in, man. Give me something to work with. ATR sitting at 20 on the dot. Oh, man. We're sideways again! Well, in the meantime, man, if you haven't yet, I'd appreciate it if you would hit the like button, big dog. I need dopamine, damn it! This market's not doing it for me. It's not moving. All right, ATR 18. See if the bulls can push me up at least one ATR in the money here. Isaac, good to have you, brother. Whew, sorry, had to sneeze. All right. Well, we're sideways right now. Went this way on the first trade of the day and then continued for us. Just took its time. So we're 235 out here from the close of 39. I'm still targeting a full ATR. ATR right now is 19 points, bouncing around though. Nathan Lee says, I probably have 8K invested in sim accounts. My first payout of 4K. We'll get half my money back. Got to keep this ball rolling. Time to pay off the debt and start paying the bills full time. If that first payout is 4,000, which I assume you're talking, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 accounts, right? Scale it horizontally. You know, I got to be honest with you guys. I know, like $8,000 is it's a lot of money, obviously, but I've had people, but like at the same time, it's like you're here to make a lot of money. Is it really? You know, it's a lot to your current situation, to most people's current situation, but is it a lot compared to your goal? Is the question I think that more people should ask themselves. And I've seen people come to me and say, Nico, I'm down 6 figures on prop and I've never taken a payout. I said, we have a discipline problem, big dog. They said, I agree with you. And they fixed it. And they're now ROI positive. You are not too deep, I promise you. Future you will outgrow whatever problem you currently have. You have to deeply internalize that because it's the fucking truth. Question, hey, started trading June 2025, already got 3 payouts. You're ahead of the masses, I'll tell you that. What is that, 10 months? 3 payouts in 10 months, they say, but I'm still struggling with overtrading. Overtrading only exists if you're stepping outside of what gives you positive expected value to take more trades, right? So the answer to that is what? Does anybody know what I'm going to say? Any of you YouTube guys, pop in right now and say it. Brute force discipline for 2 weeks to get the ball rolling, and you'll retrain your brain to get the dopamine from doing the right thing rather than gambling to try to make some money back. You'll just get a better feeling because you're able to be so disciplined when no one else is able to do that, and you know that that keeps you on the proper track. And then it feels even better when you do that, win or lose, because you know that given a midterm sample size, especially a longer term sample size, you just fucking win. All I ever hear from everybody is overtrading. Overtrading doesn't exist if every trade you take has edge. Correct? It only is real if you are giving that up to take more trades, which I agree with you, most people are doing, but most people never had it to begin with. Because they never had an ounce of discipline, because they never brute forced it for a week and a fucking half. Come on, guys. I'm giving you the map that worked for me. If you don't want it, then don't have it, dude. Don't take it. Whatever. Doesn't change me, I guess, my life. But I would encourage you to take it, because I want to see you win. All right, ATR sitting at 18. All right, go on, you bulls. ATR 18. Let the copier flatten. Got my full ATR out of that trade. Beautiful. All right, second trade of the morning here. Or I guess midday. Let's keep it pushing. Question, could you have gotten in right on the next bar on the close of bar 40? If you got a fill, yeah. Yeah, you could have. Don't worry too much, by the way. If you just booked up a trade and it closes and you're like, in hindsight, you're like, oh, I could have gotten long there. Do it if you feel mentally ready or don't. It's fine. You don't have to take, I'll always say discipline goes both ways. Like if you're sitting here waiting for a setup and you get one, but you're scared, so you skip it, that's a discipline problem. But I don't see it as the same thing where if you're in a trade, you pull it and then you get a setup like 2 seconds later and you would have to fumble and risk fucking it up to put it on. If you can get it on, do it. If you're just like, all right, I'll just wait for the next one, that's fine too. There's a sustainability aspect to this as well. But if you're sitting there waiting and you get setups back to back that you have every opportunity to put on and you're fully mentally there, then you should put them on. Because what's the whole business model here is to get statistical edge, positive expected value, right? And then increase the sample size. That's it. That's the whole business model. So you got to increase the sample size, which means take good trades. And if you're scared, but the setup is there, what do? What's the answer to that situation? Size down, trade smaller, and still take it. So I got to tell you, I'm a little bit concerned here with the increase of bear body frequency that we're probably going to see a sideways trading range. Of course, I'm always looking for another trade. I'll wait until I get a good RAM trade and I'll put it on. Question, should I prioritize trading my live funded account for immediate income or focus on passing new evaluations to scale my capital? How do I manage time and risk if I can only focus on one at a time? Well, it's impossible for me to answer to that. I don't know your situation, but what I would do is I would say focus on the fundeds in the morning and trade the back 9 in the afternoon, try to pass evals. Or yes, of course, you could copy trade the evals with the funded if you chose to. But I think separating them out makes sense as well. Okay, bears trying to book up a couple of consecutive bear bodies for the first time since 1920. We'll see if they're able to do so. We still got 3 minutes here on bar 42 to see if they can. And again, this is the increase in bear body frequency from bar 29 onward has me thinking more and more, especially from bar like 36, 37, that we're probably going to see some sideways trade and range action here for a little while. So let's keep an eye out. Hopefully we'll just, if we could just curl and head lower hard, we'd get some more beautiful setups going. But we'd also know after a big push like this bull push we've had all day, if you're going to reverse, you're probably, on most days, going to get a trading range first. You guys are asking about bar 34. Yeah, bar 35 is a higher probability. Though in hindsight, of course, they both worked. $60 seconds here from the close of bar 42. We'll see how this guy closes up. Of course, this would lock up the first couple of bear bodies, consecutive bear bodies, since earlier in the day, again, 19 and 20. Someone says, for RAM, what do you find yourself taking more, long or shorts? It's pretty split. I am completely unbiased when it comes to long or short intraday. Though, aggressive trades to the short side, if you had to average them out over thousands of trades, are likely to happen a little quicker. The trade duration is going to be a little bit less. All right, keeping an eye out here for that trading range. After 41, 42, again, probability of trading range, meaning sideways, has increased. All right, well, since I know that probability is trading range until we break hard one way or the other, I'll be right back. 2 minutes. I'm just going to grab some coffee. Don't you go anywhere, big man. You stay put. All right, what's up? And I guess turns out I was right. We are sideways, which of course after 41 and 42 was the highest probability thing. So now we've got 43, 44, 45, all sideways so far. We'll see how 45 ends up. We still got 4 minutes, 37 seconds left on bar 45. So what's up with you guys? You guys having a good day here so far? I know volatility's low. ATR, oh Jesus, 16s. We're into the 16s here on the ATR. That's not great, is it? Manuel, healthily green. Javaz, very red. That's okay. Hey, keep your head up. It's one day. I'll tell you what. I remember very few red days in my career. I remember some red days, but the vast majority of them get buried. All right, 240 out here from the close bar 45. We got an ATR of 17. Should we look at the 2 minute? I'm a little bit scared to look at the 2 minute. As expected, right? Big sideways trading range. Well, come on now, Bulls, Bears, somebody. I didn't show up today to take 2 trades and then stare at a trading range. Good day so far, though, I gotta tell you. But I'm not done. As long as the market gives me something reasonable, right? All right, here we go. Roll over a 45 into the open of 46. ATR hanging out 17.5. Again, this is a 5-minute NQ chart for anybody new. Down to 15s on the ATR. By the way, the longer this goes sideways, the more 50-50 it becomes which direction we decide to break eventually. John, what's up, brother? How we doing? How long have I been trading? It's been about 9 years. Rock says, Nico, do you ever trade ES? Sure. Sure, I certainly focus on NQ. Doesn't mean ES is wrong. In fact, a lot of the OGs will tell you that they're ES guys. Well, the reason for that is because that was the top dog when they were getting started. Depending when they started, right? Both are great. NQ, ES, both tremendous. I would say NQ is probably more popular with the prop trading crowd today, I would think. I would think that seems to be the case. Nathan says, does RAM work for stocks as well or mainly built for NQ? No. It's not built for NQ at all. There's nuance with other instruments, but any instrument, any time frame, price action, it doesn't care, right? It's just, this is human psychology being displayed to us on a chart measured by time. Okay, now there's nuance, all right? Now, if you have a small cap momentum stock, for example, you got to kind of understand, well, what's the environment here? It's a bunch of people buying because it's going up and praying it goes from $3 to 30. Okay, so you take on a much more long, heavy trade distribution. Okay, now if you're trading commodities, you understand that when it trends, tends to trend for longer. When it ranges, tends to range for longer. There's little nuance here. But you give me any instrument with enough liquidity, on any time frame with enough liquidity, you remove the price from the screenshot, remove the time from the screenshot, and they're going to look pretty similar. You might have a tough time telling them apart. Which, what does that tell us? You can trade the same price action concepts just about anywhere that has enough liquidity, as long as you understand the underlying nuance of what drives price. If there is something to that regard, or in that regard, I should say. All right, here we go. 46 seconds out from the close of bar 46. Let's get rid of this range. We know it's there. 46 here would be the first bar closing outside of this range. Let's see if we can. Okay, now that's going to be the largest bar since bar 22. And it's also the first bar closing outside of that sideways range. In a low volatility, if it were a higher volatility environment, I would probably take long on bar 46. ATR 17. It's a very low it's a very low volatility environment. And it's the first bar, which means I'm going to wait on 47. Question, what's the value of the SMA you have? That gold line that you see on screen is a 20 EMA. And there is quite little value in it. It's a bottom of the barrel thought for me. I will consider it sometimes. But, you know, honestly, at this point, I feel like I should just take it off. But I like having it on so I don't get too dizzy looking at charts. But you take it away from me, it'll change nothing. It'll change nothing about my performance. It'll change extremely little about my decision making. All right, 240 out from the close of 47. A small-ish, I don't want it too small, but a small-ish to moderate-sized bull body closing nice and clean, and I'll put out a stop limit buy. Up 5,100 so far on stream, 2 trades. Which is 12.5K on the session, including overnight. But again, we'll focus on what's going on stream. You ever trade gold? Yeah. Right now, a lot of commodities are on the no-no list for Apex. So I'm hanging out on NQ. Not that that changes, but we've definitely popped over to gold a number of times here on stream. But not too much lately. All right. 40 seconds out. Let's see what bar 47 closes up, or how it closes up, I should say. There's a 5-minute NQ chart. And of course, we're live. All right, 20 seconds. Let's pop on over here. I don't like that wick, bulls. Get us a little higher. I want a little bit cleaner close than that, man. 10 seconds, get my stop limit buy ready. I'll give it 15 seconds. That's about a B minus setup right there, because 47 being so small and the wick being quite large in comparison to the size of the bar. So it only has earned 15 seconds. No fill, no trade. Pull it, and we move on to 48. In that case, if the bulls want to take it, it's like, I'll participate. But if they don't want it within 15 seconds, then they're not earning that cleanup from me. So no fill, no trade, and move on to bar 48. How many of you guys, by the way, just put it in the chat. How many of you guys are doing this full time right now? Whether it's recent, long term, whether you believe it to be temporary or permanent. How many of you are paying all your bills with trading currently? And then I'm curious to know, how long has it been? Because, dude, I remember, oh man, that transition was a beautiful thing. The expenses weren't, they were low back then. Didn't take, all that much, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be able to pay everything for the month from the market alone and be good. It's like, holy shit. I'm not drowning for once. That's what it feels like. And to be able to get it from something that everyone told you is impossible and that you're going to fail at is a fucking good feeling, man. Holy shit, we got quite a few full-timers in here. Oh, we love it. It's your boy says trading should never be your only source of income. Yeah, I honestly, I think for most traders, it ends up naturally not being the only source of income anyway, because why are we here? We like to play the money game. There's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's investing, whether you own a bunch of real estate on the side, or you play the business game, or you do whatever. You're here because, I don't know if you realize it, some of you are like, I'm not an entrepreneur. Fucking yes, you are. You're here. Yes, you are, big dog. You haven't caught on to that yet? Of course that's what you are. So, most traders, they start paying everything with their trading income, and then, it's midday and they're done for the day and they're like, I gotta do something else. And naturally you end up with a bunch of income streams anyway. So I'd agree with you that, should you have it be your only income source forever? I don't think it's going to be, just based on the people traders typically are. It's just not gonna end up that way. And you know what? That's a good thing, because it takes the pressure off and you're able to just kind of be like, I'm gonna do what I need to do. You end up making more money trading anyway. All right, we got bar 49 here, 4 minutes, 40 seconds out. Yeah, that's exactly right. This is Ninja Trader. I've got a bar counter, and I've got a relatively useless 20 EMA tossed up, just because it looks pretty. Nah, I know it's your boy. I know what you meant, dude. How long did it take you to get to the point of living off just trading? It was rolling into like my 3rd year. Kind of just after the rollover. Well, just sitting, this is a 5-minute NQ chart, by the way, ATR 17. We're watching bar 49. Just waiting for that next RAM setup to hit. Man. Well, man, if you haven't yet, hey, hit the like button. I appreciate you doing so. Hey! Or dislike, big dog. Whatever you're into, my man. Maybe that'll give the market the juice we need to take trade number 3, huh? Brian, good afternoon, brother. How we doing? All right, there's a rollover from 49, open of bar 50, ATR 16, volatility real low. How did you know when you were ready to start trading on your own? Well, I had been making some money for a little while trading, and it was just rolling over into a better period. And it's an interesting story. I was doing real estate at the time, and I was doing okay, but I wasn't making that much. And I was doing less and less real estate and more trading because I didn't want to do real estate. I wanted to be a trader. So things were starting to go pretty well, but we still had very low expenses and we weren't making all that much money. And my wife came into the room one day crying and told me she got laid off, and she was fucking horrified of what we were gonna do. And I said, and she had to go back through the interview process. And I said, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna stay home. I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna quit real estate, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I did. I quit real estate and fucking made it happen. I don't know if it's ever gonna feel like the right time to go full time. I've always had this undeniable belief that I can make it work. Call it arrogance. Fuck, I'm glad I have it. I've always had that feeling. Since I was a kid, I've had that feeling. If I gotta make it work, I'll fucking make it happen. And sometimes it takes a circumstance to really force you into it. Have some belief in yourself, big dog. I mean, look, what's the worst that can happen? It's money. It's just money, dude. You'll make it. If you go to zero, you're alive. Pick up the fucking pieces. Go again. All right, bar 51 here, 4.5 minutes out. on, bulls. Let's make something happen here. Big dogs. We got 49.50, now 51, 250 out. All right, minute 25 out here. Let's see. Let's see if I get something reasonable to do here on Big Bar 51. ATR 16, maybe 17. All right, see what we get. 70 seconds out. All right, here we go. Pop over to the execution screen. We've got Big Bar 51 here closing up. 18 seconds. I will go ahead. Get that copy trader engaged, homeboy, and see what we get. I don't like that insecurity there, bulls. See that? 51, closing just kind of inside the wick high of bar 50. That's a whole bunch of nothing for me. All right, wait here on 52. See what's up. Nico, what's the logic behind an inside close within the previous wick? Is it insecurity, a higher probability of a reversion? There's a lot of nuance involved, but just to keep it brief for you guys here on YouTube, because I don't want to get into it for 45 minutes. But yeah, you're looking at a little bit of insecurity out of the bulls in that case. It's not an accident that they're closing it just barely inside by a tick or two of the previous bar's wick high. It's too much insecurity for me to bet on them. Oh my goodness, the ATR in the 15s. It's been a while since we've seen this, isn't it? All right, 60 seconds out till the close here. Big bar 52. We'll see what we get. Nico, which ATR length do you use? I set my ATR to 10. Does it matter that much? Not really. Just pick one and be consistent with it. I chose 10. Made logical sense to me. Whether you choose 12, 14, 7, who gives a shit? Pick one and keep it consistent. Alright, see if the bulls can give us a pop. I don't think so. Inside close here on 52. Tiny little body. Essentially a doji there on bar 52. So we'll keep it moving. All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. Back to it here. We're on bar 53 after an embarrassing little doji out of bar 52. Again, this is a 5-minute NQ chart. We're a minute 13 seconds out from the close of bar 53. I guess we'll see what we get here out of 53, huh? ATR is dipping below 15, by the way. We're down in the 14s, the high 14s, but the 14s nonetheless. Bar 52, by the way, had a range of less than 10 points. That's, it's not tremendous, is it? But hey, as long as that ATR stays above 10, I think it's worth, you know, sticking around and trading if you, unless you're off to lunch or something. All right, we're 250 out here. And, you know, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the wick low 42. It's like for any limit order reversion scalp, you're putting on 50 plus points of risk. In this volatility environment, that's way too much. So it's like, well, you know, it's logical. You could use the wick low 58. Is it ideal? No. You're in the B minus territory for any limit order reversion scalp grade. Plus, it starts looking much more like a range than anything if you start using 48. But that's a thought, you know, it's a logical thing to do, which is what we're after. Man, we got the bears and bulls putting up a fight with each other that is making this market so indecisive that volatility is just continuing to collapse. Just goes to show, though, you can still have a good session even when volatility is doing this. Doesn't mean you're bound to be red on the day, right? But is it going to be the most fun day? Yeah, not necessarily. But what is fun, right? I mean, I think fun is as far as trading is concerned, is doing what you're supposed to do. Now, on a big, beautiful trend day where you take 18 trades, yeah, sure, you might have more fun, but it's because your edge is really good that day. That's what's most fun to me, so, I mean, what are we talking about? Oh, 55. 442 out. ATR down to 14. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, guys. You Tomb Pro students, I will see you 1 hour from now exactly for our meeting in the Tomb portal. For the rest of you guys, I'm going to go hit lunch. This thing's in a range until it breaks one way or the other. So, hopefully, it'll increase ATR in doing so. I hope you guys have a great rest of the afternoon. Again, I'm live every day. We got a bunch of new people here. I will see you tomorrow. All right, stay patient, please. Let this trade setup come to you. Don't force things in low volatility environments. Great way to just slowly bleed out 1,000 paper cuts type shit. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow morning.